When their father died, Sana was 13 and her brother, Bilal, was 17, and while their mother did not cry loudly but instead became painfully silent, the bills began piling up within weeks. Rent, electricity, school fees, groceries, and Bilal understood something before anyone said it out loud. Someone had to stop studying, and it was not going to be Sana. She was brilliant, always first in class, and her teachers believed she could become a doctor one day. Bilal was not weak in studies, but he was not extraordinary either, so one evening he quietly folded his books, placed them in a box, and the next morning, instead of going to college, he went to a mechanic workshop asking for work. The owner told him he was too young, but Bilal replied he was old enough to need money, and from that day he began washing greasy parts, cleaning tools, and carrying heavy engines. He came home the first day with cracked hands, and when Sana asked why he did not go to college, he simply smiled and said he was taking a break, and she believed him. Months turned into years, and Bilal never returned to school. He woke up at 6 a.m., worked long, exhausting hours, and every month made sure Sana's fees were paid on time. Sometimes he skipped buying new shoes. Sometimes he lied about eating outside so their mother would not feel guilty. And sometimes he worked overtime without telling anyone. Sana continued studying, thinking things were manageable, until one night she overheard her mother whisper, asking Bilal to at least continue his studies in the evening, and Bilal softly replied that one educated person in the house was enough. Sana stood frozen behind the door, and that night she cried quietly, realizing her dream was not just hers, it was his sacrifice too. Years later, when the medical college entrance results were announced, Sana's hands trembled as she checked her roll number and saw the word selected. She screamed, her mother cried, and Bilal smiled quietly. But that night, when everyone slept, he sat alone on the roof and cried, not out of sadness, but because something inside him finally relaxed. Medical college was expensive, so Bilal took loans and worked even harder, his back constantly aching. Yet he never complained and always told Sana to focus on becoming a doctor. 5 years later, on graduation day, when her name was called, Dr. Sana Ahmed, the hall filled with applause, and she walked down from the stage, searching for him. Bilal stood at the back, wearing his simple shirt, and she walked straight to him, hugged him tightly in front of everyone, handed him the degree, and said into the microphone that it belonged to her brother who quit his education so she could complete hers. The hall fell silent and then erupted in applause as Bilal stood there embarrassed but with eyes full of tears. Years later, Dr. Sana opened a small clinic in their area, and on the board beneath her name it reads, "Founded with the sacrifice of my brother." Because sometimes the biggest heroes do not wear uniforms, they wear worn-out clothes and give up their own dreams so someone else can achieve theirs.